Hey buddies, Jose at Wire Ninjas. We are home systems integrators. We build circuits and systems of integrity within the tri-state area. We are also Dream Media's preferred partner in this area. What does that mean? That means two things. Number one, we make cool, awesome, informative videos for you guys, the audience, Dream Media, and the install channel. Number two, that means if you need install in this area and you reach out to them for product or install, they're going to refer you to us. And let's get into it. Today we're doing a 5.1.2, and let's start with the plan. See, I have my fancy cardboard here with the plan. I do this for you guys, I do it for myself, mostly for you guys because I got it all in my head, to be honest. But let's start. Number one, prep work. So what does that mean? That means tarping and taping. Take a look at the floor. We have the entire area tarped off. The reason we do this is to protect the home, its inhabitants, their belongings, the floors, whatever it is, but also it's a matter of efficiency. When we tarp off the floor, we make a mess, we roll the tarp up, and we're done. We're more efficient. That means less cost for the homeowner, and it means less cleanup for us. Everybody wins in this situation. So tarp and tape, make sure you do it, get it done. It'll help you and your client. Next. We're doing a 5.1.2 here, but we don't have the TV panel yet. The TV panel should arrive within a matter of hours, and I forgot my Apple Watch today. The TV panel should arrive within a few hours. So what does that mean? That doesn't stop us from doing the work we need to do here. And it makes things a little bit more difficult unless you really know how to measure, which I do. And what measurement is it's really all just building a map or a system of points of reference. If you know how to measure properly and you can establish yourself points of reference, you can get this all done without the TV panel present. Now, particularly the left and right speakers are more forgiving when you don't have the TV panel, because on the mount it'll slide left or right, so there's a little bit of forgiveness there if you kind of screw up the measurement. Ours are perfect. Now, we could do the center channel, but we have plenty of work cut out for ourselves. And with the center channel, the height of the TV determines the distance between the TV and the center channel. So we're going to do the TV and the center channel last today. But part of the prep work also means that we acquire these TV dimensions, throw the TV dimensions up on the wall. You can do 4 corners and then a couple measurements, or you can do the full tape, throw a level up. You can go as elaborate as you want to be, or as you need to be. We're all at different skill level. Do what suits you best. Another reason why we have these speakers up already is because when we're doing theater work, right, and we want speaker positioning to be proper, what we want to do is align the left and right channels with the in-ceiling speakers. It's the right way to do things. It creates the proper imaging, the proper sound stage that you're looking for. You know, it really gives you that immersion that you want when all the speakers are in the correct position. So we take a bunch of things into account. This may look like just a toolbox on the floor, but when seated correctly, and it has the appropriate height. So what we did was, we're waiting for furniture for this room. We took a measurement of the furniture that's going to go in this room. We sat this in the position the furniture is going to go. We also matched the height of the seating. So now, with me sitting in the mock furniture here, one of my technicians can measure my ear height, and now we can determine the proper height for the speakers. That's what gave us the height of the speakers. Now, the left and right is determined based on the screen itself, on the media wall. You know, the screen is so big. We also take into account aesthetics. How far aesthetically do we want these speakers to be beside the TV? We don't want them too close and we don't want them too far, for aesthetics as well as immersion and acoustics, because if the speakers are too far away from the TV, you're not going to get that immersion, you're not going to get that proper sound stage. In your mind, the way it plays out between the audio and video, you're looking at the screen and you want to be hearing almost as it's emanating from the screen. You want these things to be tied together in your mind, and that's what goes into the placement of speakers. Now, once we determined the center, the distance between the TV and the height, the listener's ear height, we had the correct measurements for the left and right channels. Now, we're going to match this distance from the wall. Same thing, from the wall to that speaker. We took a measurement and matched it up here in the back. So, to have a straight line, you need to draw it. So If you're looking for a straight line between this speaker and back here for the other speakers, you need an additional measurement. So we match the measurement back here, we match the measurement back here for the speaker, and now we can throw our laser up and have a straight line. And very efficiently, what we can do is, this laser's pointed at me, let's lock it. So now, very quickly and efficiently, we can match up the center of the speaker with the measurement back here. We know exactly where our speakers should go. And the room is not square, buddies. Once you throw up a laser, you realize that the room is kind of, has that funhouse effect. It's either that or the lighting is all staggered. But regardless, part of the prep work is take all your measurements. It's going to cost you extra time. And honestly, how long have we been here? We've been measuring for about an hour. Which to me, an hour of measurements to put together, you know, a perfect theater, as perfect as it could be, is a beautiful thing. So make sure you take the time to measure. Every line I make, I actually measure twice. I measure it one way and then I cross-reference it to double check. I don't like to have mistakes, so I like to be very diligent and be precise. Now we're going to use the Atmos guide to determine which bay we're going to hit for the Atmos speakers. Now, there's always a compromise when it comes to a room that's not a dedicated, built-from-scratch theater room. This is a multi-use room. We have a Peloton over there. There's going to be a little bar and chilling area on that side. So there's always some level of compromise. And what I mean by that is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 5 bays to essentially pick from for our Atmos heights. There's nothing wrong with this. The only reason I mention it is because this is a very common theme. It's a very common situation that you're gonna experience firsthand when you're putting your room together. Not everybody has the budget or even literally the spatial means or a room to do a dedicated theater room. And there's nothing wrong with that, and that's the only reason I mention it. Nothing wrong with this situation. So, once we determine all the measurements, we decide where all the speakers are gonna be placed. What I like to do next is either cut out, like if we're doing drywall work, we cut out our speaker holes, or if we're doing in-ceiling work, we're gonna throw in our rough-in brackets. Today we have all Focal speakers. We should have taken a look at the equipment. I apologize. I'm trying to structure these videos for you guys to be doing the best possible, but we'll look at the equipment. Yeah, we'll take a moment. So SVS PB2000 Pro, that's our woofer. We got a Denon X3700H, really nice receiver. It's usually the best-selling receiver every single year. For speakers, the front, we have the Focal 100 series. It's an LCR speaker. We're doing 3 of these, left, right, and center. And then for the in-ceiling, I believe we have a 100 series ICW6 from Focal. But another special little thing is, let's see. So we have these back cans, these fire-rated back cans from Focal. What does that mean? It's a metal box. It's got acoustic insulation or foam, and they're basically rough-in brackets for when you do finish the ceiling. This ceiling is going to stay unfinished, but more importantly, what they do is they keep the sound in. It provides an enclosure to a speaker that's not normally enclosed. So your typical 6-inch in-ceiling speaker, it's open in the back. You lose a lot of sound in the walls. We want to direct that sound at the listener, you know, to the user. So with the back cans, we're going to get a lot better sound out of these speakers. We'll get a lot better imaging out of these speakers. Also for the front, Focal, I don't know. They don't make back cans for their LCR speakers. I tried to find them, couldn't find them. I guess they only make them for the in-ceilings, or they do not make them for the 100 series. So what does it mean? It means we find a solution. What is the solution? We don't have it here yet. It's coming with the TV. I ordered some Dynamat N-Wall. So what the N-Wall system is basically you can adapt or create, you know, a thermal barrier, or not a thermal barrier, an acoustic barrier or an acoustic enclosure in any in-wall speaker. It's a system of, you have a layer of Dynamat, then you have a layer of acoustic foam, and then you have a surrounding layer of acoustic foam. So essentially you're enclosing the speaker, so it's going to be really nice. We're going to get a lot better sound out of these front speakers because we're turning them in from regular LCRs, open wall, into enclosed speakers in the wall. Full retail on them is like $100 each, the Dynamat N-Wall. We're going to do 3 of them, 1 for each of left, right, and center. And for $300, it's well worth it in my opinion. We're going to get a lot better sound out of these things. I always prefer when we're doing in-wall speakers to get speakers that are fully enclosed already, such as like Paradigm P1. Paradigm makes really nice fully enclosed speakers. Some manufacturers make them, but some don't make them at reasonable price points. And I understand if you guys don't want to spend 2, 3, 4, 5K per speaker. Martin Logan, Focal, they do make speakers with back boxes, but they tend to get very expensive depending on which manufacturer you go with. So to accommodate that, we're going to use the Dynamat N-Wall. Check them out, Dynamat N-Wall, really cool stuff. A lot of people don't know about it. That's why I figured I'd mention it. To me, the trade-off is small to get better sound. Now, rough-in brackets are going to go in. So we have our placement down. Our brackets are going to go in. Our N-wall is going to go in. We're going to cut these out. N-wall is going to go in. And then we can wire in all our channels. So we'll build all the circuits. That means we're going to use audio cable for all the speakers. We're going to wire 2 sub-locations for this room. It's not the biggest room. We don't have the most wall to work with, but we're going to wire 2 sub-locations. That way we have a little bit of flexibility afterwards. We can place the sub wherever it's best suited. As far as audio cable is concerned, we're going to use 12 gauge. I prefer to use 12 gauge. It should be what you are using. It's very future proof. It's very speaker proof in the sense that you could always upgrade and get some nice big juicy speakers that draw a lot of power. It's good to use 12 gauge. If you can't, 14 gauge is fine for a lot of applications, especially smaller distance covered in this room in particular. But if not, 14.4 is nice. Stack to 14.4, it's pretty much 12 gauge. But preferably go with the 12 gauge. What else? So after all the speakers are in, the TV should be here. We'll throw the TV panel up. We'll throw the center channel up. We have an IR kit to do. And then we're going to, once all that's set, we're going to tone our audio cables. We're going to, basically validate each speaker and audio circuit. And then we can install the AVR. The AVR is going to get installed, wired up, and then we can get into the calibration of the audio and video of this room. We'll run the Odyssey, we'll layer over a manual calibration with our SPL meter and run through all the settings manually ourselves. We'll calibrate the video, and then we're gonna do some listening and some viewing, some critical listening, some viewing. We'll cut some scenes, all that good stuff, and that'll be a wrap. But I just wanna lay out the principles or the structure of what's gonna happen today. And of course, we're gonna bring you in along the way, but once we make some more progress, we'll check in and we'll show you what's going on.
Just cruising through the neighborhood. On to the next one.